Greetings and welcome to Let's Play White Canvas. I know I did a joke already. I don't care. What a happy Easter. I'm glad I'm back from my parents. I will do this in another vlog, or perhaps I upload the vlog where I talk about this before this one, so I don't know. I do whatever I want. This vlog will be labeled How to Survive in Dungeon Crawler or something like that. I'm pretty sure when I upload this video I already forgot what I just said here. And as you can see, I'm in paint again. Hello. Hello. Wonderful. What do I want to talk about? Yes, how do you survive in a dungeon crawler? As you may know, because some Let's Player may have told you about that Legend of Grimrock is coming out tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to that. Oh, I cannot wait. Anyways, I should do this the next time with a rectangle. Some of my viewers told me that they are not really experienced in Dungeon Crawler, but they want to try the game out too. And I heard from different sources, reviews and so on, that this game doesn't fuck around. This game wants to punish you. This game, even in easy mode, will most likely be a challenge. And when I say challenge, I mean challenge, not today's challenge level where they are like, oh, we are sending 2 monsters instead of 1 now at you, and you have to hold your fire button like 1 millisecond longer, something like that. If you never played Dungeon Master or FTB Beholder or other dungeon crawlers before, then I feel pretty sorry for you if this will be your first one. At least I hope it will be like that. And they also said that on the hardest difficulty level, there is no auto map. How awesome is that? Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. I'm going to play in the hardest difficulty level, and perhaps I'm going to upload my notes somewhere so people can actually look at them. But I'm not sure yet. No promises. Anyways, I made a little list of things you should look after during your adventures, and the first big area is exploring. I'm going to give you some hints on how I do the exploring stuff when I'm playing Dungeon Crawler, which I'm not that familiar with. You may have seen my Dungeon Master Let's Play, and I know the game like the back of my hand. I may get lost in the later levels, like a little bit, but usually if you put me in one room in the middle of the labyrinths, in 5 minutes later I know where the fuck I am. So, what kind of hints can I give to you? If I make some obvious things, then I'm sorry, but like I said, I'm not sure on what level some people play, and I need a second color different. So, yeah. I'm not sure what kind of level people are playing, but if I do some obvious things, then I'm sorry, but I want that everyone has fun or learned something from that. So my first hint on what I usually do and what I think is very important is to keep your back safe. Let's say you're exploring the dungeon and here's your party. Here's like your one guy. The others are all dead and bones and whatever, and he's like, oh, I have to carry them to some resurrection stone and stuff like that. And you just go this route, and then there's suddenly in the other corner there's a monster waiting, like, and then he's following you. and then you suddenly you come to an intersection and you're like, oh no, there's another monster here. Oh, it's not green. Fuck, damn it. I totally fucked this up. Green. Make it green. Yeah, he's a different kind of monster. It's like a zombie monster. I don't know. And you're suddenly standing here and you're like, oh no, I'm surrounded by evil meanies and they want to kill me now. Yeah, keep your back safe. That's one of the most important things to remember. Do not get flanked. I will mention this again in the combat section, but keep your back safe. Explore every nook and cranny before you go into a new area. Like, how do I do this as fastest way? You don't do this like that. I had the green selected on the second color, that's why it was white. Green suddenly. If you have like different areas to explore, like here's a huge area and many ways to go around and stuff like that and whatever, then try to make sure that this area stays safe, even if you have to backtrack from time to time. That's okay, unless you come to a new safe room or something. Always make sure you have an area you can quickly retreat to. And that's actually my second one. No, wait. Keep your back safe. And another thing is always remember your escape route. If you have like a very confusing, that's not the, this is not the brush I'm looking for. You have like a difficult maze or something like that, and you're like, oh, I don't know, this is so evil, and I'm like here, and I've been everywhere and stuff like that. And here's your safe room you cleared out because here's like a door you blocked or something, and you know that no monsters can come this way. Always make sure that you remember the fastest way as possible back to this room, in case some very big meanie comes along, like, he looks kinda happy. Anyways, like a big meanie comes along, you can kinda go to your safe room and fight him there. Tactics on fighting, again, in the next section. Another thing, I'm always mixing up my notes here. You stay here. Okay. If you are exploring the dungeon and there's like a wall here and there's some hint scribbling like the stars align when the troll farts or something. I don't know. I have no idea what kind of hints the game is going to give you. Always write it down. Don't just sit there and make like stars align 12 farts or something. Write the whole sentence down. It's very important. You don't want to be in front of a riddle 3 levels lower and you're like sitting in front of a troll fart and you have to type in something. I don't know what you have to do, and you're like, yeah, what exactly were the words up there? You can even, if you don't have a paper in front of you or something, which you should have, because having a graphed paper is very important. But if you don't have something like that, if you see a note or something, a hint, make a save game. Make a save game that says the stars align when the 12 farts. I like that. And that is one of my hints. Yeah, that's what I would do. I always write everything down you find. You may need it later. You will most likely need it later. And if you have your paper full of hints and you used one of these hints, then either underline it or make a check next to it, or make a line through it. So you know, I used this hint, perhaps it comes back later, so you don't get confused like, okay, what hint didn't I use yet? I used all of them, stuff like that. Another thing, what most people don't do, from what I've seen, but is also very important, is gather useless things. Don't keep your inventory too clean. You should keep it clean, in case you have to pick up stuff. But it's also good to have a small collection of rocks or something. Like you're walking down a corridor. I had this in Eye of the Beholder once. You have like this corridor, and you're walking down the corridor, and you're like, yeah, this is a very long corridor. This is a really long corridor. How long is this corridor? And suddenly you realize that there's a pressure plate here, or some invisible teleporter that teleports you back to the beginning of this. And since you have no idea when this may happen, you should use a useless item, like throw a stone in that direction. And when the stone gets teleported back and hits like your wizard in the back of the head, and he's like, yeah, that's so evil and mean of you. He's like your wizard. He has a baseball cap. No, he has a wizard hat. Now he looks like a duck. I don't know. Anyways, keep useless items. Or you may need, like, oftentimes in Dungeon Master there were pressure plates on the floor. Like a pressure plate, like, whoop. And if you stand on the pressure plate goes down, of course. But if you go away from the pressure plate goes up again. So you put like 1 stone on it, or 2 stones, in case you need more weight on this pressure plate. Always important, keep some things around. What's also important, in case there is like a teleporter maze. I think I had this in Dungeon Master. There was a teleporter maze. I'm pretty sure about that. And in Eye of the Beholder too, you have like this evil teleporter maze, and you have like different areas, and you are hardcore because you don't play with automap and so on, and there's like this maze here, and he's spreading, and I can't really draw mazes that good, that look confusing and stuff and whatever, and yeah, and I'm just doing ends because I'm doing this confusing maze here and stuff. And this always teleports you around, like here, and from here to here, and from there to there, and whatever. Make landmarks. If you make landmarks, you know, oh, I have been here. Ooh, so you know you've been teleported. So next time you may go another direction. Or since you know you get teleported here, you try to mark down the exact point where you get teleported to, so you can write it down on your map or something like that. Just a few hints, like I said. I'm pretty sure most people won't even do this like that. I'm not even sure if I would do this like that. But like I said, it's always good to have some junk items around, and the worst that can happen is that you throw them away later on. Of course, you don't take a boulder with you as a junk item, and your Minotaur warrior is like, oh, I'm heavy stuff and I can barely walk anymore. You don't do that. Take an empty bottle. Perhaps not a bottle. Bottles are usually useful. Like I said, take some rocks with you, or dagger or something. Something you may not necessarily need. Or you may usually use as a throwing weapon, and you can actually make some use of them, but if you need to make a landmark, it's better to use a throwing weapon. Of course, the usual. If you played adventure games, you know this hint. It's save early and save often. I have to pinpoint this down. If you fuck up somehow, like half of your party gets wiped out because you actually accidentally stepped in a fireball trap, then of course you take the I am an elite RPG player way, and you trot down to the next resurrection stone, or you just load your game because you saved the game 1 second before stepping on this plate. So yeah. Oh yes, another thing that's actually useful with these junk items: weight down pressure plates before you step on them. Like you have this intersection. I love this intersection. It's one of the trademark intersections. Like the intersection where your party comes from here and if you step on this plate, then a fireball or firewall comes from here and it's like, I'm going to destroy you. And if you are just standing here and be like, lol, I just put a rock on the plate, you stole firewall, I hate you, then yeah, you may save a few hit points that way. I think there was... It was in Dungeon Master, I think, where you had to wait down... No, in Stone Keep. It was in Stone Keep. Remember the way to the wizard study? I think on the second level of Stone Keep, where there were like these pressure plates, and every time you put something on the pressure plate, I think the layout was kind of like a lot of intersections like this and there and so on and blah 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 until you finally reach the exit, and it went like this, and I totally fucked up there, and yeah, and every time there were pressure plates on every intersection. Whoop, 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 whoop. I know that's annoying. Whoop, 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 and whoop. And every time you stepped on one, there were like arrows shooting from that direction, like here and there and there and there and there and so on. So you weighted down the pressure plates until no more arrows were coming, and then you did it one more time for good measure, because the wizard may be like, yeah, I am looking through your gestory or something like that. So yeah, you may also just step on it and take a step back. But in Dungeon Master, there was one time where you stepped on a pressure plate and there was a trapdoor opening up behind you. Okay, if you do I put something down on the pressure plate, and you would fall down the trapdoor anyways. But that's why you save early and save often. Yeah. Another thing that's... I don't know... I kind of informed myself of Grimrock, but I don't know the exact details of the game. So I don't know if there's like a weight or storage limit on your characters, or if you can just carry as much as you want. In Dungeon Master you had a storage limit, and having like one guy carrying 5 chests full of dragon steaks wasn't really the best idea. So in Dungeon Master, if you remember, there was like the big hall level. There were like some smaller intersections there, and it kind of looks like Cthulhu. And there was these stairs going down. And these stairs, they kind of went down from, I think... fuck it. They started at level 8, sorry. 8. And went down all the way to level 13 or 14. And they just went down. And each intersection there was like 12, 11, 10, 9. And in each intersection you could like open up a secret door from the other side. So you had to complete the level, find a skeleton key and open up a secret door so you can have a quick exit back to level 8. And on level 8 I put in all my treasure chests full of food and stuff, or I just laid the food down like chicken drumstick that got dropped by rats. Oh, that's so good. Sorry. So if you have like if you explored a little bit of a dungeon or one part of the maze and you find easy to reach spot, usually in the middle, and you have like all these different areas. Level 2 of Dungeon Master again is a good example, because of the second level was with these choose your destiny, choose a door, choose your fate. There were like these different areas, and there was this huge hub in the middle. So you had like this hub, and there were like these intersections going somewhere. Here was like the matrix. In the Matrix, Neo, nobody can hear you scream and stuff like that. So it was a good idea to store some items here that may not be needed. It is also important, do not do that with key items or plot items. In case you remember Eye of the Beholder 2, where you are like fighting up the Beholder tower, and there were like all these beholders there, and they are like, I'm going to eat you. And I know that a beholder has more than 4 eye stalks. I think it was 13 or 12 or so. But at the end of the level goal, it teleported you back to the beginning of the temple, like 5 levels away. So if you like stored all your valuable key items here, you were fucked. Because you had to fight all the way back. So always try to keep some items on you, like some food items. Don't throw everything away. Unless you, like me, know the game, like in Dungeon Master, I knew I had to come back to level 8 because I had to go to level 7 to rescue the Fire Staff from its imprisonment. That was a long sentence. And I knew that I shouldn't do a storage area in the Beholder level, because I knew that if I put my hand on the pedestal and get the Darkbone symbol and burned into my hand, that I'm back to the beginning of the dungeon tower. But in Eye of the Beholder it wasn't really that necessary, because you had quite a lot of storage space and you didn't have a weight limit. So if the game doesn't have a weight limit and has enough storage space, then just throw items away on the fly, because yeah, it won't hurt you. But if the game has a storage limit, I would suggest that you put some of your food items or some old weapons. You shouldn't really carry weapons around with you, no, should you? But some junk items. Put them in the easy to reach place, and yeah. Good! That was the exploring part. Goodbye, exploring caption up there. Bye, I will miss you. The next is the combat. Combat, of course, is one of the more important, or, well, one of the important columns of dungeon crawling, because a dungeon crawler would be pretty boring without some monsters to fight. I know some people may disagree with me, and they would prefer a role-playing game where you just run around and talk with people, and you have like all these awesome options to choose from, like, do you greet this person with hi, heya, or I will fucking murder you and put my penis in your ear. But I don't know. I think combat is kinda an important part of dungeon crawling and role-playing games, because for me, role-playing games are all about numbers. My numbers versus your numbers. And all of the good old role-playing games kinda worked on that principle. My numbers versus your numbers. Or in case of wizardry, my numbers versus your death spells of doom, and hopefully you don't get hit by them too often. Oh, it was fun to have your party getting eradicated in like one round. Good times, good times. Anyways, combat. I kind of mentioned this in the beginning of this guide, and I fucked up. Choose, thank you. And I kind of talked about this. Try not to get flanked, of course. If you are like standing, if for some reason you are like standing here and you are like, I'm going to fight you with my sword, and there's this evil monster thingy like, I'm going to eat you because you are mini pie, and somehow another monster is like, half of my head is stuck in the wall, I hate you for this. I would suggest you just take a step back. It's always a good idea to not fight two monsters at once from two different directions. If I understood it right, Legend of Grimrock does the same setup as Dungeon Master and Eye of the Beholder, which is different from the... I think Might and Magic 1 and 2 still had this. But then again, in Might and Magic 1 and 2 you couldn't get attacked from the side, so what I'm saying is bullshit. Back to Dungeon Master. In Dungeon Master, your party was like actually standing where the portraits are standing, or how the portraits were in the upper right corner. So you had like your front two people, and they were usually, they should be the melee fighter, of course. It doesn't really make sense to put a wizard in front. Well, I did it in my Dungeon Master Let's Play, because I kind of wanted to train my wizards. But I'm not sure how important that is in Legend of Grimrock. So you had like your front two fighters, and then you had your wizard with a dorky hat in the back, and he's like, I'm a wizard, I cast spells. And then you have your rogue with titties and stuff, because I usually make my rogue female, because females are usually more agile than men, and her tits are like at her hip. That doesn't look right. Anyways, and she has like this mask like Kitana, and she's like, I'm throwing daggers around. So if you remember the grid based, and I fucked this up here, the grid. I totally fucked this up, so correct it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So the front two fighters can only attack from this side. This side contains these two. This side contains these two. This side contains these two. And from the back you can only get attacked. On the back, of course, and back of the party. I should actually make this a little bit like a Venn diagram. Are they Venn diagrams? Yes, Venn diagrams. So kind of like this, and then we have fucker. Then we have this, and we have first click on somewhere and then click away, and this, and then we have this. So, gosh, that's confusing. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. You saw me drawing the circle, so... Like I said, you should make sure that you do not get flanked, because from this flank your rogue can get attacked, and from this flank your mage can get attacked. And it is also the best course not to get attacked from the back, because from the back your weakest party members will get hit, and I doubt that it will be a good idea. Like I said, I don't know how Legend of Grimrock handles this. The good thing with Dungeon Master is that everyone could learn everything. So it was usually a bad idea to just put your casters in the back and never ever train any fighting skills with them. Because if you were training some fighting skills with them, they could get more hit points. And always remember, a fireball can hit the whole party most of the time. So your back characters should get some meat on the bones, so they don't get hit by fireball and just fall over that. Like I said, I don't know how this works in Legend of Grimrock. If you use a melee weapon, your melee skill somehow improves or something, and you get more hit points or something. If this is not the case, then just do it like in Eye of the Beholder and keep them in the back. So, another way, of course, it's always good to fight in a 4x4 square. So you have like this 4x4 square, whoop, 2x2 square, sorry. Four squares total, but it's 2x2. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm just doing this with forms now, because I don't feel like drawing stick figures. We are here, the monster is here, and we are here. So, we are the good guys, we are the blacks. That doesn't make sense. Anyways. So we are fighting the monster. You fight the monster looks in this direction for some reason, because it just moved from here. So it turned around, looks in this direction, we are attacking it. Then the monster decides, I'm going to turn around and look in this direction, which is our cue to move to this side. So we are now standing here, and we are now a totally different star. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So, whoop, whoop. We are now standing here, and the monster is like, no, I hate you so much. So it moves to this area. Of course, usually still looking in this direction. So we turn around, whoop, and attack him. And the monster, of course, turns around again. So we are also always going in this pattern. Whoop, 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 whoop. And the monster is always one screen behind us, but it usually turns around slower, so we can always attack it from the side and never get hit that way. This, of course, gets a clusterfuck if there are 2 or 3 more monsters involved, so you should always separate them, and a room like this should always be your safe spot. You should always know the fastest way to get to a 2x2 squared room, so you can fight monsters there. If it's possible, try to use traps and doors to your advantage. Again, I don't know if it's like Dungeon Master, where you can use a door to just crush down on your enemies, or if it's like Eye of the Beholder, where the party is like, I'm not going to push this button to close the door. That would be unfair. But you can also use doors to perhaps separate monsters, if you can somehow lure them away from the door and close the door again. But yeah, and of course use traps to advantage. If there's like the well-known intersection, this time from this angle, this intersection, whoop, and there's like this fireball trap, always shooting from here, then it's of course a good idea, of course, to lure a monster to this spot, and you're like, meh. The monster is like, I'm getting pelted by fireballs from the right. That is totally mean. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I have one more hint for you. Well, it's kind of obvious, but try to wear them down with belts. Another thing I should have put in the exploring part, but it is also a good idea to, well, like I said, wear them down with ranged weapons and spells, but also try to keep some magic for you in case you have to recast a light spell, or you really need this healing spell, or something like that. And yeah, resting, that should have been in the exploration part, but it kind of works in the combat part too. Try not to get your party be like, oh, I have only, like they're all half dead, and then they are like, oh, I'm dead, please let me sleep a little bit so my bones can heal and cover my body again and stuff like that. Because in case you may be sleeping and everyone's like, and suddenly the big bad monster comes and tries to eat you. I had this in Might and Magic quite a lot. Yeah, I was playing quite a lot of Might and Magic 6. Yes, 6, the one that I hate the most. When I was at my parents', it was kind of some sort of self-punishment or something, I don't know. It was actually quite enjoyable, but still the beginning kind of sucks, but this is not a review of Might and Magic 6. I had it Might and Magic 6 that when my party was really at its lowest point, like everyone was wet in the health bar and my mage barely had any mana, same with my cleric, or the cleric is usually unconscious, stuff like that, and I was resting, I always got attacked by monsters. I always got attacked by monsters when my party was at its weakest point. But if a party was like in the middle, like it still had some mana left and some health left, and I took a nap, I never got attacked by monsters. So I'm not saying that this is always the case, but if you rest, try your best that you can actually fight off a monster or escape in time. In Dungeon Master, the monsters, while sleeping, usually got the first hit on you. So it kind of sucks if you are sleeping, the monsters come and kill one of the party members, and his dying scream of agony wakes up the other members. You don't want this to happen. You really don't. Anyways, this was the combat section. I hope it is informative so far. I'm still talking like 40 minutes and puzzles. Of course it's black, green. Make it. No, it doesn't work when I change the color. You fucking son of a bitch. Useless puzzles. Well, there's not that much I can say about puzzles. It's always important to check your notes. And like I said, if you used a hint, mark it somehow so you know it may not be used later on anymore. Another good thing is to write the puzzle down on paper. Yes, I'm actually serious. Because you can pause the game and solve the puzzle without getting attacked by monsters. And you may save some valuable time because your food supply may run out sooner or later. So every little bit that you are not doing anything in the game, you are actually saving time. Some people may call this cheating. I call this efficiency. And when I call this efficiency, it is actually right, and you are wrong. Thank you. So we have like this room with 3x3 squares. I remember something like this from Dungeon Master. And there were like these two portcullis, or gates, or however they are called. So these are the gates. These here. One gate, two gate, red gate, blue gate. Yes, I know those, Dr. Seuss. And every one of these pressure plates did something else to the gates. So you both gates were closed and you came from this area and you stepped on this pressure plate. One of the gates went up and the other stayed that way, which usually involved it going down. So if nothing happened, I think at this riddle it actually moved it down or moved it into position it already is. So you had to find a certain route, and I still remember this route to this day. So you go like this way, one time in and out and in again, and voila, it's solved. Because this combination is the one combination that makes sure that when you are standing here, both portcullis, or however they are called, are up. I had this because I was a little boy when I played Dungeon Master. I had this, of course, for my solution. But if you actually write it down and make notes on what portcullis, of course, save before you start the riddle, because you may not know if you can reset the riddle. So write it down what each pressure plate does and do this thing on paper. There are quite a lot of trial and error in this involved. A puzzle like this can't really be brute forced. Of course you can brute force it, but then again you have quite a lot of let's go back to the puzzle. You have quite a lot of options. Like the first option is always the same. You stand here. Whoop. So you're standing here. Give me a bigger pen. Yeah, that's good. You're standing here, but the next option is you go this way. 1, 2, 3. Then here, okay, you have 2 again. 1, 2. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you see that you may not know how many you need, so there's quite a lot of combinations. I may even say an unlimited amount of combinations, because you made an unlimited amount to get there. Anyways. I remember in Eye of the Beholder 2, I was playing it at my uncle's house when I was a wee little boy, and there was this one riddle with levers. So you had like 3 levers. Whoop, 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 whoop. And they were all in one certain position. Like one was here, one was down, one was up. Doesn't matter. And you didn't really have a hint on which combination is the right one. This was the at the area with the chicken armadillos. If you saw my Let's Play of Eye of the Beholder 2. And moving each lever kind of changed around a certain part in the maze. It was quite around, kind of around the corner, but there were like 9 or so areas you had to change, and you had to go to this area, but it was always blocked by blocks if you had the wrong combination. So I just sat down and I wrote down every possible combination. And if you know a little bit of binary, this is actually a quite good example of a binary tree. Or not tree. I don't know how to say this. So, of course, if you put like everything up or down, it doesn't matter. You put them all in the same starting position. Which one you prefer, of course. And after you have done this, this is your starting point. This is all 0. 0. 0, 0, 0. Black. I hate you. Gah! I hate paint. They really fucked paint up. How can you fuck up paint, for God's sake? Anyways. So, 0, 0, 0. This is your starting position. Then, you can do this the fast way, if you are like me and you know the fast way, or you do the slow way. If you write this down on... If you do this for the first time and you don't know the fastest, quickest way of doing this, you do it like this. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Yeah? Like this. This is the slow way of writing it down. You are, if you don't know it, you are like, oh, did I get every combination? You can make sure of that, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, with 3 bits you can do 8 different numbers. The fastest way, if you see the number, the digit to the right always changes in every step. The second digit changes every second, so it stays 2 times the same, then 2 times, then it switches and stays the same, switches, stays the same, switches, and so on. And the third digit is like 4 times the same, switch, 4 times the same. The next one, 8 times the same, switch, 8 times the same, and so in this way you can write down these different combinations pretty fast. So you just write down the combination, then you try it out, and if it doesn't work, you mark it down and you try the next combination. This is called brute forcing a riddle. You just try out every combination possible. If you want to crack a password, you just try out every combination that's possible. Have fun with that. Of course, there's a time when brute forcing doesn't really help a lot. In case you have like... let's say, it also starts getting wheezy with 5 different lever options, because you have like 2, 4, what was it, phase? Wait, yes, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. 32 different combinations. Yes, I cannot count in my head. Very good. So you have like 32 different combinations. Have fun with that. Trying this out brute force style. I remember in Wizardry 5 Wizard v5, how I missed the. There was this combination. There was, you had like different options, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, Y, J, K. And you only could choose four of them. I think it was the riddle in the fourth level where you had to put the battery in and then you had to push different buttons and so on, and you could only choose 4 out of these. And I actually tried to make a list of all the possible combinations. Yeah. If I remember right, this is, you couldn't choose 2 times the same option, so you couldn't like A, B, B or something. And in combinationary or something, yeah, mathematics. There's a way to get the possible combinations. I may get this wrong, but I still have it in the back of my head and I kinda researched it beforehand. You have n, the faculty of n, divided by the n minus k faculty, whereas n is the number of options, and k is the number of selections. So in this case we have, and I need my calculator, be right back. Didn't have to stop there because the problem is if I open up my menu bar, you see my last name sometimes in the videos, and I hate this. I don't want this. So I have my calculator here. Rechner, Ansicht bearbeiten. Oh my god, German. And we push in these numbers. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. The faculty of 11 is quite a high number. We divide this by, we have the max number, 11 minus 4, which is 7. So we take the faculty of 7, and we have 7,920 combinations. Have fun brute forcing that. Yeah. Yes, mathematics actually helps you in Dungeon Crawler. Oh, I missed that. I really, really miss good old games with puzzles and stuff like that. So yeah, you may have this option, or in Dungeon Master there was a wall with 4 buttons, and the order you press the buttons was actually important to open up a secret area, which wasn't that important. And with 4 options, if the number here is the same as the maximum number of options, so k equals n, then we have here 0, and 0 faculty is equals 1 faculty equals 1. So we have n faculty divided by 1, which is n faculty. And you know what faculty is, I hope. Faculty, the faculty of 5 faculty is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's faculty. So you can also say it's 5 times 4 faculty, which is 5 times 4 times 3 faculty. So, or you, yeah, it's kind of like this. So even with these four numbers, you have like 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24, times 1 is 24, 24 different combinations. It is manageable, but you may fuck it up. So if you realize that the brute force method won't work, try to find some hints, and yeah. Oh yes. What's also pretty important in puzzle solving, make sure no monsters interfere. If you are like in the example with the Dungeon Master part, you have this 3x3 square and you are in the middle of this riddle, and suddenly a monster attacks you from behind and you are running around wildly trying to escape from it, and you're fucking up the puzzle, that won't really help you a lot. It's also important, like I said, it's also good to solve these puzzles on paper first. So save the game, pause it, solve the puzzle on paper, continue. This way a monster cannot interfere, and if you call this cheating, then I would suggest you bend over and kiss your own ass. Anyways, yeah, that were the rough guidelines on how to succeed in a dungeon crawler. I hope it will help you. And yeah, I make a little announcement. I'm going to play Legend of Grimrock on hard mode. So I'm going to make my, like I said, I'm going to make my own maps, and perhaps I will upload my self-made maps to perhaps help you somehow, in case you kind of want to see them. I'm not sure yet if I will do this, but yeah. Anyways, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see each other soon. So take care and goodbye.